in the style of the chapel, in the style of the church, because Pope Gregory at the time decided and decreed that instruments were of the devil.
Yes.
Something, as a good Catholic, I still adhere to. I just believe that old school Catholicism is probably... Anyway, so Pope Gregory then decided, okay, we're not going to allow any instruments in the church. We're only going to allow no harmonies, no nothing, just one line. Thus was born Gregorian chant. Yeah. So what we're going to do right now, we're going to do a demonstration of Gregorian chant, and then we'll take you through a bunch of different genres that occurred in a cappella. But we're going to just sort of do it a little different. We're going to do it through the lens of had these songs been written by John Lennon and Paul McCartney. Let's mix it up a little bit. So we'll take you through a cappella. This is Gregorian chant. When I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom. Let it be.
We cheated on Gregorian chant, actually. It was supposed to be one line of music. So if you fast forward to the end of the Middle Ages, early Renaissance, that was when composers decided it was even prettier if there was more than one part, and thus harmonies were invented. Vocal harmonies, I should say. Harmonies probably existed since the beginning of time. Anyway, it was also in the Renaissance we saw the first instances of written music and of popular music, which back then they called the madrigals, because who doesn't like a rousing chorus of hey nonny nonny hey from time to time? But thus was born the classical choral a cappella style, a la Lennon and McCartney. And in my hour of darkness, she stands, in my hour of darkness, she stands, speaking words of wisdom, speaking words of wisdom, she speaks words of wisdom. Let it be.
And then from a very dark period of American history in the 17th and 18th centuries, out of slavery, came a beautiful form of all vocal music, and one of the first truly American forms of music. When the slaves were brought over, they weren't allowed to practice their own religions, and so they adopted Christian beliefs and put it to music with messages of struggle and of strife and of hope. And this is where the American spiritual came from, which eventually gave way to gospel music. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Don't let it be. Let it be. Don't let it be. Let it be. In times of trouble, gonna let it be. Let it be. In times of trouble, gonna let it. I'm gonna let it be.
Who's sitting back there wondering, I wonder what the Beatles would sound like if they were a barbershop quartet? Am I right? Yeah. Because I think it would have been awesome. Barbershop music started around the turn of the century. 4 guys singing tight harmonies. And it's really difficult. That's why Face doesn't usually do it.
And when the night is cloudy, there is still a line that shines on me. Shine on till tomorrow, and let it be. Oh, let it be.
All right, any fans of Motown music out in the audience tonight? Awesome.
We're not going to do any Motown. But this next form of music, this next segment is doo-wop, and the singers began to move out into the street corners. The late 30s, early 40s, moving into the 50s, and doo-wop was created. The singer started to borrow the sounds of scat from the jazzers, and we're going to give you a little taste of that right now.
This was also the first a cappella genre that gave the drummer something to do.
Dip, 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 doo wop. I know what I'm talking. Dee-dee-doo-dee-doo, shoo-wop, in the world to dee-doo, way, dip-dip-dip-dip-dip, wow, wow, oh, oh. So let it be. Let it be. It's really just an experiment to see where Face is going next. One of those genres, probably Gregorian chant, right? I love it. Come to a show, it'll just all be Gregorian chant. Be awesome. Yeah. So there's the history, if you will, but we won't leave you there. What Face does most of the time is contemporary a cappella, which is, you know, stuff you hear off the radio, and a lot of times we take it exactly like you hear it, and then every now and then we take the song and we face-ize it a little bit. So we've been teasing you with that one. Here's the real one.